Howdy, let's learn floors and roofs in Revit. Javad is here and this is the 7th session of Revit architecture course for beginner. So if you want to learn Revit, make sure to check the previous episodes too. And if you have watched them, congrats to you. You have successfully achieved to a basic knowledge and now we can create floors and roofs in here too. First of all, let's learn floors and then we will talk about the roofs too. In floors, again, we have two kind of floors, structural floors and architectural floors. But right now, I want to talk about the architectural floors. For example, in here, we want to create floors for this plan that I have here. To do that, you need to go to the architectural tab and build panel and then floor. Then again, like wall, you have different types of floor with different layers, but let's choose a generic one and let's learn how to create new ones. If you don't have any walls, you can use lines, you can use rectangles and all of those tools like walls to create floors, and then you need to click on finish and then you have your floor. And even you can after creating of your floor, you can select it and you can change the boundary of your floor very easily with move and all of the modification tool that we've learned. And that's the way that you can create floor, but it's not the easiest way and most optimized way to create floors. If you have created your walls, you can easily create your floors according to the walls. But how we can do it? We have two different tools in addition to all of the other tools that we've learned. We have two addition tools in here. We have pick line that we had in other tools too. We can pick the, for example, wall edges like this, and then click on finish to have our floor in here. This is the way that you can use from pick line. Or for example, right now I can change the placement of these to the outer edge. To do that, I can use offset, turn off the copy, and for example, let's test 20 or maybe 50. Press tab, or if it didn't work, you need to do it manually to have the floor for the outer edges. It was a way, but we have a better way too, even better than this. That is pick wall. When you are creating floors, you have pick wall option too. The pick wall tool, as the name explains, you need to pick the walls. But before that, don't make sure to uncheck the extend to wall course and select the walls very easily. You can press tab to select the whole area and like this. And if you want to have a floor for inner edge, you need to click on this arrow in here and it will change the direction of the floor from the outer edge to inner edge. And then let me place it again in here, and then you can create your floor very easily. But usually we have a main floor for all of the parts of the building, for example our concrete floor, and then for each area we have architectural floors or architectural finishes. To do it, you need to create a floor at the top of the base floor. For example, click on pick line in here and let's pick these edges, interior edges in here. This one, speed up. This one, and let's click on TR and trim, and let's trim these areas. And let's go to the edit type and let's duplicate and let's call it, for example, ceramic or parquet or anything you want to use for your finishes. And then before doing it, let's learn about the layers too. To create layers for floors, it is exactly like walls. So if you are familiar with wall, it will be much easier. Click on edit and then preview. You will see the layers in here. Again, as walls, we have functions, materials, and thicknesses. For example, for the function, let me put it on substrate and let's put the material on something like concrete maybe. This one, click on OK, and let's put the thickness on something like 2 centimeters. It's gonna be the mortar of our ceramic. Let's create another layer and let's put it on finish, and let's move it to the outer side of core, and let's put the material on ceramic. For example, it can be okay, or you can use ready to use materials too. Let me see the material. It's not that suitable, so let's choose a right ceramic or tile from here, maybe this one, and click on OK and OK, and the thickness should be 1 centimeter, for example. Let me change the material a little bit, and let's put the graphic on user in the appearance. Click on OK and OK, and let's trim this part too, and then click on finish, and Revit will tell you that these floors are overlapping. To prevent from this, you need to check the thickness in here. This is 3 centimeters, so you need to give an offset about 3 centimeters to the finish floor to have the floors easily in here. Let's see it in section or 3D section to understand it much better. As you can see right now, we have our walls in here, our main floor and a structural floor in here, and then we have our finish floors in here, and we need to create finish floors or finish layers for each room separately. For example, if you want to use parquets in here, you need to create the second type of floor for your parquets and use it in here. So that's the way that you can create floors in your buildings. But sometimes there is a tip that I'm going to show you in here, and that is the finished floors in, for example, bathroom that you want to place a item for sloping to it to, for example, gather the water. So to do it, you need to create another floor in here, and this time let's use peak line again. In here, let's assign a 3 centimeter offset. Click on TR for trim, and we are good to go. Click on finish, and in here we need to trim it in here too. Click on finish and assign a 3 centimeter offset again to have the floor in here. And now we want to place our slope and a sloping point in here. To edit it like that, you need to use these shape editing tool that we have in here. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to drag it outside to see it better, and we have some tools to change the slope of our floor very intuitive. To do that, you have points and a split line, but before that, click on modify, and you can see we have different edges in here, and we have different points, and when you click on them, for example this point, you can change the height of that specific point, and all of the other points will change their slope in according to the specified point that you've achieved. It's okay for it's useful for kind of concept modeling, but it's more useful for sloping your floors and sloping your sides and roofs. But there is a problem, and so in construction, the mortar will fill the slope, and the mortar is the part that will create the slope. To simulate those kind of situations, you need to go to the edit type of this floor, and then in edit you need to make sure that you have checked on the variable option in here, and let's edit this floor again to see the difference. Let me bring it in 3D section to see the layers, something like this, and then select the floor and modify this edge, for example, to something like 10 centimeter. Now you can see, let me bring the section in here. You can see the variable layer will be, as the name explains, is variable, and the other layer is fixed, and it will be very variable, and it will calculate the volume of the mortar very precisely too. But sometimes we don't want to give a slope to an edge or to a corner. We want to create a slope, for example, to the middle of somewhere or to the middle of bathroom. For example, to do that, you need to select your floor, and you can add a point at the middle of this. But this is not that precise, so we have some split line. Let's use a split line and click in here, press SE for snap to end, and then again select in here, select this one, press SE for a snap, and put it in here. And now at the intersection of these tiles and these split lines, it will give you another point that you can modify it very intuitive or very easily. For example, I can adjust it to something like -2 centimeter, and all of the points and all of the parts will be adjusted, and the slope will be adjusted according to this point. For example, let's go to the section, and you can see the section in here very right in here. But let's reset the shape and achieve to the basic form that we had. Another tip that we want to cover in the beginner part of floors is how you can create a void inside of this one. This is really easy. You need to click on edit boundary and then create another closed loops inside of the first loop, and then you have the void that you want to achieve to it. We have some more advanced opening tools that we will talk about them in the future, but right now this is the tips that enough for you that you want to start your beginner journey in Revit. This was the floor part. If this video has been helpful, please don't forget to like this video to help me and this video to reach to more people. Let's talk about the roofs right now, and let's talk about the slope roofs and gable roof and all of the roofs that we have in most of the time in residential homes and residential houses and residential architecture. To draw and model roofs, we have a specific tool in Revit about roofs, and there are two ways to create roofs. The first way is roof by footprint, and we have roof by extrusion. Most of the time we use roof by footprint, but sometimes for some more complex shapes or more maybe we can say extravagant and awkward shapes, we use roof by extrusion. But there are some tips and tricks about the roof by footprint that you need to know, and there are some we can say different ways to model each roof, so it's not a fixed way for each roof. But in this video I'm gonna talk about some about 3 or 4 samples, but we will cover about all of the shapes that you can create with roof tool in future videos. But in here, click on roof and roof by footprint, and then specify the exact level that you want to create your roof on. Click on yes, and then you have the tools that we had in floor 2. For the layers, it's same with floors that we covered earlier in this video, so I'm not going to cover the layers again. And then you can specify the place that you want to create your roof. For example, let's choose this rectangle in here, and let's assign a 1 meter offset in here, and let's create our roof boundary in here. You can see there are some rectangles, triangle symbols in here. These are the symbol for a slope roof. If you want a flat roof, select all of them and turn off the define slope. But if you want a slope roof, in each side you can specify the slope by degree or any unit that you want. You need to change the slope unit in project units to anything that you want, for example. But let's accept the defaults and click on finish. Now you can see we have a really great and beautiful roof. And then you need to choose your walls and attach it to the roof, and your walls will adapt themselves to the shape of the roof. Let's choose a thinner roof, and now this is the hip roof. And then you can change the slopes even with edit footprint and selecting, for example, these two, and let's put it on something smaller, maybe 15, and you will see the change in the shape as soon as possible. Or you can change it manually with this script that we have in here, for example, this kind of hip roof. But there are some more options. We have some industrial shapes too for roofs that has slopes just by two sides of them. To create those kind of roofs, click on edit footprint and select these two edges and click on and uncheck the define slope, and then you will have this kind of roofs too. So that's two way of these roofs. But for these shapes, the Revit will create the most optimized, most of the time we can say most optimized roofs too. For example, click on let's create similar from this roof. Click on yes, and let's click on peak wall and put the offset on maybe 15 centimeter, and pick your walls and click on finish. And now you will see the new roof that you have in here, and you can change the height of each part manually too to achieve the exact shape that you want to achieve. We've created gable roof in here, but sometimes we have clip gable. To create clip gable, choose these ones, and let's select them, and let's check the define slope. And then you need to give them an offset from here. In here, something like, let's put it on 1 meter, and let's click on finish. And then you will have clipped gable, and you can change the slope of these two parts too, or even their offset to have this kind of roofs. But we've covered some of the roof shapes. As I said, this is a beginner part. This is the part of a beginner course, so I'm not going to go into detail, and we will cover all shapes of roof in another video in this channel, so make sure to subscribe us. But we have some other behavior too. For example, in polygons and we have in circles, we have different behavior. Let's check them too. Let's click on roof by footprint, put it on level 2, and let's pick this one and this one, and let's click on finish. You can see this is a cone, we can say. And in polygons we have a different behavior again. Click on yes and pick wall again. And click on finish. You can see, you will see this shape in walls. Again, you need to attach your walls to the roof to achieve a right detail. And that's it for roof by footprint. Second way of roof creation is roof by extrusion. In roof by extrusion mode, you need to click on roof by extrusion in here. And then you need to pick a plane that will host your extrusion or profile of your roof. To do it, click on pick a plane and click on here, for example, and select the level, but it's not really important. In this one, click on front, and let's create a, for example, gable roof in here. Let's create a middle line, and let's bring a hang in here, and let's create our gamble roof, or maybe I am pronouncing it wrong. And let's create a mirror at the middle of this one and click on in here, and let's maybe do something like this. Click on trim. I'm going to show you that every kind of profile is possible with this method. Click on finish, and the length is too tall, so let's put it on something like maybe 5 meters, or you can adjust it by align and exact numbers. And then select your walls, attach them to the roof, and you will see we can achieve this kind of roofs very easily too. Let's create another one. In here, click on roof and roof by extrusion, pick a plane. Let's pick this one this time, and let's click on OK. And in here, let's create a maybe curve shape by spline to see the potential of this roof. Let me make this one a little bit bigger, and this side too, and let's put the length on something like 7 meters. Select your walls and attach it again, and then you will see we have this great and beautiful shape of roof in here too. I said that we are not going to talk about the layers in here, and we've learned the roof by extrusion and roof by footprint in here. The next thing that I'm going to teach you in here is dormers and how to create dormers in roof. For example, if you want to create a dormer in this part, how you can do it. Let's create these beautiful dormers in this side. I've created one in here to see the preview of it. To create another one in here, the first option and first thing you need to do is to assign the work plane and specify the work plane you want to work with. For example, maybe this side, and then click on roof, click on roof by extrusion, specify the level. Let's create a dormer maybe in this place, and let's create a mirror from this side to this side, and maybe bring it a little bit upper to have a wall under it, and click on finish. And this is too long, so select it and bring it in here, or you can choose it in here and change the length of it. Maybe you can't, and you need to change it from here -2 meters, and bring it outside, and bring it a little bit outside from this place too, from this part too. Let's place it in here. To join the dormer, select the dormer roof, and then we have a tool in modify panel, and that is join roof. Then select the edge of this one, and then click on the main roof, and now you have the wall join. I want some walls under it. To do that, go to the top view, and maybe let's bring it a little bit inner side. Let's create some walls under it. To do that, go to the top view, click on pick wall, and put it on maybe -10 centimeter or 20 centimeter, and pick the edge of this wall. Maybe 10 centimeter would be better. In this part, in this part, and this part, we have our walls right now. Select them and attach them to the top and to this roof. Click on attach and make sure it is on top, and attach them in here. And we need to attach the base of them too. So then again, click on attach, click on base, and attach the base of them to here. After creating the walls, we need to make sure that this part will subtract from the main roof. To do that, we have a tool which is called dormer in architectural tab and opening panel. Click on dormer and make sure to specify the inner edge of your walls. To do that, you need to go to the wireframe mode and click on dormer again and choose the main roof first, and then pick the inner edge of your walls and also the dormer edge. And if they are not maybe this edge too, and if they are not aligned properly, make sure to trim them and click on finish. Let's go back to the shaded mode, and now let's locate from the bottom, and now we have our dormer in here. And the good thing is here, you can place windows in here too very easily with the window tool. So that was it. Make sure to like and subscribe us to help us create more tutorials. And also I will put the Revit architecture for beginner course playlist in here. Make sure to go there and watch all of the sessions to start learning Revit. I will see you on the next session.